March 21st, 2017. We are very
excited. To you, UKers, Brexiteers.
Article 50 is going forward. Thank you, Theresa May. Finally.
Next Wednesday, Theresa May will fire the starting gun for Britain's departure from the European Union, an occasion Nigel Farage labelled the point
of no return.
So let's just hear him on the radio.
Straight to the horse's mouth.
You know, I mean, I'm pleased I didn't hold my breath after the referendum. It's been more than 9 months. But next Wednesday, it happens.
It happens.
And it's a massive, historic moment. We will have passed the point of no return. After next Wednesday, be in no doubt we are leaving. There'll be lots of haggles, lots of debate over what the nature of the deal is over the course of the next couple of years. But after next Wednesday, we are leaving. It is a big, big day. In many ways, one of the biggest days in our history.
I love it.
All right. So, I'm very excited for you all to have it at least started, right? You have actually made...
Brexit means Brexit, and we're going to make a success of it. No deal for Britain is better than a bad deal for Britain.
This month, the British government is set to trigger Article 50, starting talks on the country's exit from the European Union. So will it be a good deal or no deal at all for Britain? Article 50 is a provision of the EU's treaty that allows a member state to leave, and it's never been used.
I think there's every reason why...
This is from the New York Times, so...
Unless all members agree to extend the negotiating window, there's a 2-year period for Britain's withdrawal. And if no agreement is reached, that means Britain gets no trade deal at all. That could mean British companies facing tariffs and customs checks when they trade in Europe.
They're really making this out to be a downer, huh?
The European single market is the biggest market in the world, and it really matters to our businesses, and it really matters to our economy.
Mrs May has ruled out a so-called soft Brexit, which would have kept Britain's full membership of the EU single market and customs union. She wants to secure the next best thing, a special trade deal with wide access to Europe's single market, frictionless trade across frontiers, and winning back control of immigration.
Do it!
But there are some obstacles.
Les Britanniques sont tenus de respecter les engagements à la confection desquels ils ont pris la part, et donc la
So the bill will be, to put in a bit cruelly, very hefty.
Un peu vulgairement, très salé.
Before Mrs May can even enter trade talks, the European Commission, the EU's executive arm, wants to discuss a broader divorce settlement, meaning Britain needs to pay what it owes for EU spending commitments and pension payments. According to some estimates, the total bill could reach a whopping 60 billion euros, more than $63 billion. If the talks stretch into 2018 without progress, international companies, reacting to the uncertainty, may begin leaving or downsizing, causing significant economic damage.
It's too early to talk about specific because there is no specific about Brexit for the moment. So I cannot tell you about... So there are a lot of speculation, what if, etc.
Also a factor, France and Germany's upcoming elections. Any significant progress in the deal is unlikely before new leaders or governments of those countries are in office. And even if a good trade deal is reached, that would likely need to happen before autumn 2018 in order for the deal to be ratified and Britain to leave on time in spring 2019.
Our friends and partners understand much more clearly what we want to achieve, and they can see much more clearly how it could be made to work in their interests, and why actually a win-win outcome is the best thing for everybody.
Leading Brexiteers play down such obstacles, arguing that a trade deal is in the EU's economic interests. However, if Britain succeeds in getting too good a trade deal, it may encourage other countries to leave, threatening the unravelling of the EU itself. The other big possibility is much simpler. The talks will fail, no trade deal is reached, and Britain will have a very hard Brexit. Britain will become reliant on the World Trade Organization to enforce trade rules, and the WTO itself is facing challenges to its authority from President Trump. For the British government, the clock starts ticking now, and time is limited.
I don't know if you guys caught that, and obviously the UKers did, but for those of you in the United States that really don't quite understand what's happening here, the European Union wants to make it as difficult as possible on Great Britain and the UK to leave the European Union. And why is that? Because others will follow if it's too easy. So they have to make it hard, and that's what abusers do.
And it can't make it look good either.
Right.
And so I feel that if you guys hold your ground,
stay firm,
stay positive, Everything. See, here's the thing: people still need your products. All right, Europe still wants your goods.
Exactly.
Okay, so the people will the people in the other European countries, they're going to fight back if the European Union doesn't allow for these hagglings to start happening.
Yeah, my biggest bit of advice is for those of you that are in Great Britain to stand firm, to keep appealing, to your MPs and everybody to just stand your ground.
Right.
And don't let the EU push you around.
Yeah, just stand your ground. Just keep speaking up. Say, this is what we voted for. This is what we want.
Remember, you guys actually have the upper hand because you're achieving something that they never thought would happen. It's never been invoked in 20 years.
The
they didn't think it was ever going to be invoked. Article 50.
And crying and super upset about this. So while we're here, I wanted to go to Nigel Farage once again, in which he fiercely defends his comments calling Sweden the rape capital of Europe. So this is kind of our Nigel Farage little.
Sure. We'll give
segment.
Nigel as much time as he needs.
After being investigated by the Ofcom, the former UKIP leader said that his claims can be backed up with statistical proofs from the UN, and every single article.
Yeah.
We've been saying it here. Sweden's the rape capital of the world. Sweden's the rape capital of the world. I mean, it's what we've been. Everybody knows it, and it's per person, right? Sorry, there's a really ugly swimsuit to the side of the thing.
That's horrific.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Nigel Farage has responded to the news that Ofcom will be investigating comments made on his LBC radio show, during which he referred to Sweden as the rape capital of Europe. The former UKIP leader, 52, said his claims can be backed up with statistical proofs from the UN in a statement. Farage began hosting and talked about his LBC radio show, and they're assessing his comments because here's the thing. Everything is so PC. If you had said Russia hacked the U.S. elections, you can say that all day long,
right.
even though there's no proof that Trump colluded with the Russians whatsoever,
right.
and that they didn't hack our machines, things like that, right? He says, my reference to Sweden being the rape capital of Europe can be backed up with statistical proofs from the UN and the European Agency for Fundamental Rights. Statisticians can also show that Malmö city in southern Sweden is the murder capital of Western Europe. Incredibly, the Swedish state does not allow crime stats according to the origin of religion and those who commit the crimes.
We have covered this so many times, but for those of you that don't know, prior to I want to say 2000, this totally pulling it out of a hat, but prior to a while ago, they did have statistical backgrounds for where these people were from, but because it was all showing that they were from Muslim countries, they scrapped it.
The Swedish establishment looks to keep its people in ignorance of those who are committing the violent crimes. For them, it is more important to be politically correct rather than factually correct. And so here's the thing: the stats are all there. Horowitz, I forget his first name. He did the stats too when his video came out that the whole Trump thing. What
was it? Jason
Horowitz? No,
Ami
Horowitz.
Ami.
Yeah. So anyways, I wanted to cover that now. Now that we're talking about politically correct statistics, stick around because we're going to go to France where they actually came out with some statistics that show that a third of all young men in the French high schools pretty much want to commit jihad. And they're not actually going to put out the full report until after the election because it is so damning to Muslims.
That is fantastic. All right, so we're going to do that right now.
Yep. The next.
Whenever we have a miscommunication, meaning right now means right now,
no, next.
Next means next.
Stay with us. We're coming.
Okay, this is Leah and Michelle having a disagreement right in front of you guys. Welcome to our home.
Muslim. There's a place in France where the Muslims try to cut off people's heads.
Okay. This is Leah and Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not a conspiracy theory, if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring that bell for notifications and find us on Facebook and Twitter. We love you guys. God bless.
I was cold.